Local politics topping the news tonight at 10. We have the results from several special elections that happened tonight in Siouxland County, where voters in Granville were voting to elect a new mayor and city council member. Roger Gorget was elected in the mayor's race, running unopposed. Dustin DeWild will fill a vacancy on the city council in Granville, defeating Joyce Murphy by 24 votes. Meanwhile, in Hospers, voters decided whether to change how to spend money collected from the town's local option sales tax. That measure needed a simple majority to pass. It got much more than that tonight, with voters voting by nearly 9-1 margin in favor of the change. In Lyon County, voters in the West Lyon Community School District, they were asked to extend the district's existing physical plant and equipment levy for another 10 years. The vote would not change the rate of the levy, only how long it would be collected. Voters strongly approving that extension, 73% to 27%. And now we take you to Palo Alto County. Voters in the Emmitsburg School District being asked to approve a measure that would raise the district's levy limit in advance of a ballot measure in November, seeking nearly $30 million to build a new elementary school. Voters rejecting that measure strongly, with nearly 60% of the voters saying no to this measure. It needed 60% approval to pass, but fell short of that supermajority.